Now in this second lecture, we are going to see some more method to solve algebraic and transcendental equation. In this, we'll try to cover secant method and Newton-Raphson method. Now what is the secant method? So firstly, we'll discuss secant method. Again, for secant method, we have to find two endpoints. We have to find 2 points A and B, in which the value of the function takes opposite value. And then by using one standard formula, we can find the next approximation. Okay, so firstly, we have to find A and B such that f of A into f of B is negative. Then the root will lie within A and B. Then take x naught as A, take the first point as A and x1 as B, and then make use of this formula. Xn plus 1 equal to Xn minus f of Xn divided by f of Xn minus 1 minus f of Xn into Xn minus 1 minus Xn. Okay, or if we simplify it, if we multiply to this term and if we subtract, we simplify this, then it comes out to be Xn f of Xn minus 1 minus Xn minus 1 into f of Xn divided by f of Xn minus 1 minus f of Xn. Okay, actually it is similar to Newton regular falsi method. In regular falsi method, what we do, we take the interval AB or interval n and then we use the formula. Here we fix one point, either A or B, depending on value of that function, whether it is positive or not. It's A point. If F positive, then we fix B point, and we change the interval depending on the new value. Here we are not fixing any point. Okay, every time we remove this point, basically we start with x1, then whatever new value we get by using this formula, say x2, then we take the new interval x2 x1, then using x2 x1, whatever new value we get, say x3, then we take x2 x3, then we get x4, then take x3 x4. So every time we remove the first point. In regular falsi, we fix first point, and in secant method, we remove the first point. We remove x naught, then we remove x1, we remove x2. Like that, every time we take the new interval. And then for that interval, by using this formula, we find a new iteration. So carefully remember this formula. It is exactly similar to that of regular falsi method, only notations are different. A into f of B minus B into f of A divided by f of B minus f of A. Same formula, only what we have to change, that is very important. There we fix one point. Here we are not fixing any point. Every time we take the new interval, we exclude the previous point. We remove x naught, then we remove x1. We take the new interval. Okay, like that we have to do the simplification. Okay, so that is the only change. Okay, otherwise it is exactly similar to that of regular falsi method. Okay, so I will just show you how graphically we can approach to that point. Suppose we have this curve f of x. Firstly, we have to find 2 points where the function takes opposite values. Suppose at this point f of A it is positive, f of B it is negative. Again, same thing, we have to draw a line. Actually, that formula we get by using the symmetric form of the line. Y minus y1 upon y2 minus y1 equal to x minus x1 upon x2 minus x1. By using that simple formula, we get the formula for this secant method. So firstly, draw the line, then remove this first point. Okay, whatever new point we get, suppose this point is say C1. Okay, then first interval was from A to B. Now remove this point, take the new interval from B to C1 and draw the line joining these points. Then wherever it intersects, we get a new point. Then draw the line joining the points f of C2 and f of C1. Okay, take this new point and this point. Remove this previous point. Draw the new line. where it intersect, whatever point we get, suppose C3, then draw the line joining these 2 points. So every time what we do, firstly we draw the line between first 2 points, then whatever new point we get, we draw the line with this point and this point. Then draw the line wherever it intersect, get a new point, draw the line, take the new 2 points, then again simplify it. Like that we have to continue. Okay, and ultimately we can reach up to that point of intersection. Okay, so in regular falsi we fix the point, and in secant method we always try to get the new interval. Okay, and ultimately after doing the finite number of steps we can reach up to this point of intersection, and that is nothing but root of the equation. Okay, now we'll take a problem. Again, the problems are similar to that of regular falsi, very easy. So consider the first problem. Obtain an approximate root of e raised to minus x minus sine x equal to 0 by using secant method. Again, take that all equation as f of x. Consider f of x as e raised to minus x minus sine x is equal to 0. Now first find the 2 points. You can try for f of 0, f of 1, f of 2, f of minus 1. Like that arbitrarily you take any values and check for which 2 successive values it takes opposite value. Okay. So checking for f of 0. 0 is the easiest way, means by that calculation are very easy. So we first try with 0. So for f of 0 it comes out to be 1. Check it for plus 1 or minus 1. Depends on you. You can try it for any value. Okay, so f of 1, it will be e raised to minus 1 minus sine of 1. Calculate the value, it comes out to be 0.3504. This is negative, this is positive, this is also positive. So we have to go for some more terms. So try it for say 2. F of 2 will be e raised to minus 2 minus sine 2 equal to 0.1004. This is also positive. So try with the next value. Either you try with 3 or you can try with minus 1, any value. So f of 3 comes out to be e raised to minus 3 minus sine of 3. That is negative, minus 0.0025. And you can see this is positive and this is negative. And these are the 2 successive values. So the interval lies between 2 and 3. Okay. Always consider the successive values. By that, the number of iteration get reduced. You can take interval 1 to 3, no problem, but number of iteration will increase. This is positive, this is negative. So you can take interval 1 to 3. But to reach to approximate value, it become number of steps will increase. So take the successive 2 values. If you want, you can check it for 2.5, no problem. Okay, and then whichever is positive or negative, take that 2 values. By that, number of iteration will again decrease. Okay, if we take in between values also. But for checking integer, finding the value is quite easy. So we check for positive and negative integer. And now taking successive integer for which it is positive and negative. So the interval is 2 to 3. Okay, so use the standard formula of secant method. We take this as x0, this as x1, and the formula for xn plus 1 is xn into f of xn minus 1 minus xn minus 1 into f of xn divided by f of xn minus 1 minus f of xn. So I already showed you how to remember such formula. Take 2, 3, take f of 2, f of 3. Do the cross multiplication, subtraction of that, divide by subtraction of these 2 values. Okay, similar formula we have. Okay, so we put values of that terms in the interval 2 and 3. Substitute f of 3, substitute f of 2, and do the calculation. So x1 will be 2 into, it will be minus 2.0025, which we have calculated here. We are using that value directly, minus 3 into f of 2. F of 2 is this value, 0.1004, divided by subtraction of these 2 values. Okay, simplify this, simple calculation is there. That gives us the term 2.9757. Okay, always take the values up to 3 or 4 digits. Okay, find a value of the function up to 3 to 4 digits, these values. Okay, now what to do? We have to remove the first term. Okay, in regular falsi, we keep the positive term, we keep this 2 fixed. But in secant method, we doesn't have to keep the first term. We have to remove first term, whatever new term we get, and this last term. That next will be the new interval. So new interval will be between 2.9757 and 3. Remove the first point. Okay. Now we find the value of this function at x1, that is 2.9757. It is minus 0.009. We doesn't have to worry about any sign of this term. It may be positive or negative, doesn't matter. We just have to get a new interval with this new point. Now again use the this formula for finding the next iteration. We want to find x2, take this as the interval xn minus 1 xn, and find xn plus 1 by standard formula. Again do the cross multiplication and subtraction of the term. Okay, so here the new interval is 0.9757 and 3. Okay, by doing the cross multiplication and simplifying the term, it becomes 2.9757 into f of 3. That will be this term, minus 3 into value of this function that already we have calculated, minus 0.0009, divided by subtraction of these two terms, and it comes up to be 2.9620. Okay, now remove the previous value, whatever previous new value and this new value, that will be the new interval. Okay, we always have to take the latest two approximate values, and between that we have to do the calculation. So new interval will be 2.9757, 2.9620. Okay, that will be the new interval. Okay, find the value of the function at that point. Check whether these two are equal up to 2 or 3 digits. If they are not equal, do the next iteration. Same formula. Okay, this into f of this minus this into f of this divided by f of this minus f of this. Okay, and then do the simplification. Okay, simple calculations are there. Using that calculation, we get the value 2.9626. Previous was 2.9620, and we got 2.9626. You can compare these two iterations, and you can see that up to 3 decimal places they are equal. Okay, if you want up to some more decimal places, you can do some more calculation. Okay, generally it is asked up to 2 or 3 digits or 2 or 3 decimal places. So accordingly, we have to do the iteration. So here they are equal up to 3 decimal places. So we'll stop here with the so the iteration will be, the approximate value will be x3 equal to 2.9626. Okay, so again this method also depends on a single formula, xn plus 1 equal to xn minus 1 into f of xn minus xn into xn minus 1 into f of xn divided by f of xn minus 1 minus f of xn. So using that formula, every time taking the new value and new two values to get the interval, and then simplify it and check for which two iterations the values are same. According to that, we have to do the simplification. Okay, now consider the next problem. Obtain an approximate root of x minus 1 into sine x minus x equal to 1. Now carefully look at the problem. Here it is not equal to 0. Okay, so what to do? Firstly, whatever terms are there on the right hand side, take all the terms on the left hand side, and then take that as f of x. Don't take only this term as f of x. Okay, don't forget to take all the terms which are there on the right hand side, take it on the left hand side, and take all that term as f of x. Okay, so taking f of x as x minus 1 into sine x minus 1 equal to 0. Okay, now again do the same thing. try to search 2 points for which the function is taking opposite values. So checking for 0, 0 minus 1 into sine of 0 minus 0 minus 1. Sine 0 is 0. So first term becomes 0. 0 minus 1 is minus 1. Negative. Okay, now you can try with plus 1 or minus 1. Any term you can try. So checking it for, say, f of 1. F of 1 is 1 minus 1 into sine 1 minus 1 minus 1 equal to, simplify this, do the calculation. 1 minus 1 is 0, 0 into sine is 0, minus 1 is minus 2. Now these two are not having opposite sign. Okay, so we have to search for some more terms. You can try with plus 1 or minus 1. Okay, as this is decreasing, so you can try with minus 1. F of minus 1 is minus 1 sine of minus 1. This will be minus 1 minus of minus 1 minus 1. And you can see this comes out to be 0.0349, and this is positive. Okay, you can try with f of 2, no problem. Okay, but this value is decreasing. We want to go to 0, nearby 0. So we are trying for negative value. Okay, and for this minus 1, it comes out to be positive. This is negative and this is positive. Check out the consecutive. You can take interval from 1 to minus 1, or you can take it from 0 to minus 1. But 0 to minus 1 is a small interval. So better to take this negative and this positive value, that is between 0 and minus 1. Okay. For 1 and minus 1 also you can get the answer, but the number of iteration will increase. So better to take the small interval. This is positive, negative. So we're taking 0 to minus 1 as the minus 1 to 0 as the interval. Now use the formula of secant method. Get the first iteration. 0 into f of this minus 1 into f of 0 divided by f of this minus f of this. Use these values while doing the calculation. Put f of minus 1 as this term, put f of 0 as minus 1, and simplify it. Simple calculations. 0 plus minus 1 divided by subtraction of these two terms, and that comes out to be minus 0.9663. Okay, now find the value of f of x1 at this point. So f of x1 is minus 0.0005. Now from this interval, remove 0. Okay, remove the next remove minus 1, and then new interval will be this point and 0. Okay, remove the first point. Okay, always in secant method we delete the first point. So the next interval will be minus 0.9663 up to 0. That will be the new interval. Now do the same calculation, find out x2, check whether x1 and x2 are same up to some digits. If they are same, then stop. If they are not same, again follow the same steps. So this is the new interval. Finding x2, this into f of 0 minus this 0 into this divided by f of this in minus f of 0. Okay, so do the calculation. Already we have calculated the value of this term. Value of f of 0 is also known to us. So put that values. Simple calculations. Okay, all this we can do it on calculator. Okay, you can store the function on calculator. You put values of x in that function directly, and you can get these terms easily. Okay, so value of x2 is minus 0.9668. Check whether x1 and these values are same up to some digits or not, and you can see they are same, because x1 is what? Minus 0.9663 and x2 is minus 0.9668. So up to 3 decimal places they are equal. So we can take that as an approximate value. If they are not same, then we take the new interval as this point and this point. But here they are same, so we stop. Okay, but not same, this will be the new interval. And again, you have to use the formula and simplify it. Okay, so very easy and very, very important method. you can easily write the algorithm or program for getting such roots. And if you are writing the program, then you can go up to any number of digits. Okay, so it become very easy. Manually doing calculation quite difficult, but for programming language, this will be very easy. Now, there is one more method by which we can find roots of transcendental or algebraic equation, and that method is Newton-Raphson method. Fourth method. Again, for that, we are given some equation f of x equal to 0. First step will be same. Find out the 2 points A and B such that f of A and f of B have opposite sign. Opposite sign means their product is negative. Okay, so if we know that 2 points, we can get the next point. We can find just take any arbitrary point x0, any point between A and B of your choice within that interval A and B, and then we can find x1 or next iteration by using this formula. Single formula, xn plus 1 equal to xn minus f of xn divided by f dash xn. Okay, so making use of this formula, we can get the next iteration, next approximate value, where n takes values from 0, 1, 2, 3, dot, dot, dot. Okay, so here we doesn't have to keep any value. Okay, we doesn't have to keep any value, or we doesn't have to remove any value. What we have to do, first of all, find any 2 points for which product is negative. Take any arbitrary point between that interval A and B. Find a value of new term by using this formula. Then use that value to get the next term. Use that previous value to get the next term. Like that, we just have to find the values at that by using the previous points. Okay, and how we get this formula? If we know the definition of derivatives in terms of limit, then what is that definition? It is f of xn plus h minus f of xn divided by xn minus xn plus h. Okay, in terms of limit of that. And if we check out the formulas in secant or regular falsi method, we get actually the form of means the terms in the form of derivatives only. F of something minus f of something divided by subtraction of the corresponding term. That is actually the definition of derivative in terms of limit. Okay, here limit is not considered. Okay, so if we consider the limiting form of that, it become a derivative. So it is exactly similar to the previous method, only this is more accurate or more useful method. Okay. Now, how graphically we can reach up to the required root by using this method? What actually it does? So firstly, we need to have the 2 points A and B. F of A, f of B must be having opposite signs. Then you can take any point x0 in between. X0 depends on you. There is no restriction on that. It must be between the interval. That is the only thing you have to remember. You take any x0, then what to do after getting x0? You're taking x0. A and B may be somewhere here, and we are taking any x0. Then what at that point f of x0, draw a tangent. What is a derivative? Derivative means it is a tangent to that curve. So draw the tangent wherever that tangent intersect x-axis. At that point, we get x1, new iteration. Then again that point, take the point f of x1, find the value of f at this point, draw the tangent at that point. Wherever it intersect, we get a new iteration, x2. Again, at this x2, draw a tangent. Wherever it intersect, we get a new iteration. So like that, if you go on drawing a tangent, and wherever that tangent intersect, if you go on continuing like this, we can reach up to this intersecting point. And that intersecting point is nothing but the approximate root of this function. Okay, so in previous three methods, we approach it from inside. Means in one sense, we approach it from inside by drawing the chord or secant. Secant means it is a fixed straight line. Okay, so we draw a line lines in between the points, and then we reduce that line. And here we are approaching it from outside. Outside in the sense we are drawing a tangent. Every time draw tangent, 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 and reach to the desired length. Okay? So this was the another approach or another way to find the roots of algebraic or transcendental equation. Okay, now we'll take a problem and we'll see how to make use of the standard formula to get the solution. So consider the first problem. Obtain an approximate root of x cubed minus 2x minus y equal to 0 by using Newton-Raphson method. Okay. Now again, for this method also we need two endpoints. So take this function as f of x. Check the value of the function at 0, plus 1, minus 1, plus 2, minus 2, different points. F of 0 is 0 cube minus 2 into 0 minus 5. That will be minus 5, which is negative. You can try with any value, plus 1 or minus 1. F of 1 is 1 cube minus 2 into 1 minus 5. It comes up to be minus 6. Okay. On Calc, you can easily do this calculation because in calculator, we can insert some equations. There is a facility of inserting the equation. You can insert alphabets also, x cube minus 2x minus 3, insert such equation and press the button calculate. And there you can put 0, 1, 2, and these values we get directly. Not every time you have to put this equation on Calc. Once you can set this function and you can easily check these values. Okay. Then checking for f of 2. F of 2 is also negative. So you can try with minus 1 or plus 3. Anything you can try. Okay. And that will be quite easy. Checking on calculator, it is very easy. Okay. So checking for 3, it comes out to be 16, positive. So this is negative, this is positive. So the root of this function will lie between 2 and 3. Okay. Now take any value of x in between 2 and 3. You can take 2.1, 2.5, 2.9, 2.55, any value between 2 and 3. There is no restriction on choosing x0. Ultimately, it will reach to the same root. Okay. Take any value of So using Newton-Raphson method, we are using the standard formula. What is the formula? Xn plus 1 is equal to xn minus f of xn divided by f dash xn. Okay, we are taking x0 as the initial point between 2 and 3. F of xn will be, hello. So f of xn will be just replace x by xn f dash, this equation. Derivative of this will be 3x square minus 2. So replacing x, so the formula xn plus 1 will be all this term. Now wherever you can put the values of n, take n0 and initial value between 2 and 3. So you can take any initial, I'm taking x naught as 2.5, can take of your choice, no problem. Then put n equal to 0, do the first iteration, then whatever new value we get, use that value to find the next iteration. And like that, we have to continue until two values of x are same. Okay, and which are generally it is mentioned up to 2 or 3 decimal places. So depending on that, we have to continue. Okay, so we are just using that standard formula and the initial points. So using standard formula and taking x naught as 2.5, we find x1, put x naught equal to 2.5 in this formula, simplify it, do the calculation, get x1. So x1 comes out to be 2.1642. Previous was 2.5, now we got 2.16, they are not matching, so we find x2, replace, put n equal to 2, so sorry, n equal to 1, then you get x2 equal to x1 minus all this term, and put this value into this formula again. So you get a new iteration, x2 equal to, take this new value and use the same formula that uses 2.0971. Whether these two are matching? No, they are not matching. So again, use the same formula. In that formula, put this new value, okay, and do the simplification. So that gives us x3. Check whether these two are matching. Yes, up to 2 digits they are matching. So you can take this as approximate value. If you want, you can take some more iterations to get some more accurate value. Suppose we take one more iteration if you want answer up to 3 decimal places. So taking one more iteration, 2 decimal, then this will be the answer because 0.0909 they are matching. But if you want it up to 3 decimal places, that also you can get by taking one more iteration. So x3 and x4 are matching up to 3 decimal places. So the next, this new iteration is the approximate root. So x4 equal to 0.0945 is the approximate root. So very easy, no new interval we have to consider, only the formula we have to get, and every time use the new value in that formula. Do the calculation, get the next value. Check which two values are same. Okay. Consider the last problem. Obtain approximate root of e raised to x minus 3x equal to 0 by using Newton-Raphson method. Firstly, check for different values of 0, f of 0, f of 1, which are having opposite values. Take that interval. F of 0 is 1, which is positive. F of 1 is minus 2.8, negative. So for 0 and 1, we get opposite sign. So interval is 0 to 1. The root lies between 0 and 1. So take any value between 0 and 1 as x naught, any value of your choice. There is no restriction. Better to take the midpoint. So use the Newton-Raphson formula. Xn plus 1 is xn minus f of xn divided by f dash xn. Simple formula, single formula for Newton-Raphson. So find the derivative of this function. Derivative of e raised to x is e raised to x. Derivative of minus 3x is minus 3. Okay, so this is now our formula. Okay, where n takes values from 0, 1 to like that. Okay, now take the any first point, taking x naught as 0.5. You can take any point, no restriction. I'm taking it as 0.5. Find x1. Put n equal to 0, it gives us x1. So put the values in that equation, we get this. Whether this x naught and x1 are matching, no. So do the next iteration, use this value into this function, get the x2. x2 is 0.6189. If you want up to 3 decimal places, then they are matching up to 2 only. So do one more iteration, x3, and you can see again 6189, 6191 up to 2 they are matching, but if you want for 3, then again one more iteration, say x4, and you can see we get the exact value. So this is the approximate root of that equation. X3 and x4 are same, so the approximate root of the equation is x4.6191.